Vladimir Lore made it. Send the signal and pray it's heard.
Dear friend, you totally missed it. After merging with the spare dreams to become the signal, Gifty started coming right at the tower to stop us. But then, before you climb up, a huge purple laser beam shot through the night, like BWAH! And it startled Gifty so bad, he fell back down to Earth. It was the Curator! Emerging from the water, the two engaged in hand-to-hand combat. Back and forth, they traded blows. I'll be honest, there was a brief moment I thought Gifty might be too much for the Curator. But then, he shot a laser beam right into Gifty's mouth. It was part of a complete breakfast. Filled him up so much, he melted into a pile of goop. As the goop of flesh started to spread through the streets, at the core was Gifty. And some guy named Luke Spookum? Apparently the mayor of New Spook City. Who knew? Anyhow, the Curator calmed down, and the four of us went to get bubble tea. The end.
Okay, well, that's Madvent, everyone. Thanks for joining me on my Madventure. I definitely think it was a very strong year. Like, we had Rip, and it was a lot of fun, ripping and tearing. And then A Mad Christmas Carol was a fun little kind of clicker game where you kept cycling through over and over. And then Do They Know? No Notes was great. And then we got Nailhead, which was fantastic. Felt like Evil Dead, great. I can't wait to see Nailhead versus Necrosis. For goodness sake, I liked the moral postulating about why things are bad or good. I'm glad that I was considered good, even though sometimes I'm naughty. Petra Theos, that one, I remember getting a really good scare out of me, even though, like, it was broken. But, again, this one was updated, I checked it out, and the only thing I was really missing was the scene where a man eats a baby. I more or less got what the game was going for, even without the baby eating scene. And then there was In the Drink, which was just fantastic. A nice little exploration thing, cute and wholesome. And Antlers reminded me how much I like Midwest Gothic as, like, a genre, even though it was very busted, and I broke it, like, twice, and I could have kept breaking it. But yeah, I liked Antlers a lot. Oculi was one of probably the most frustrating game I played in the entire collection, if I remember right. Just because I spent like 15 minutes looking for the wood. But if I didn't have that experience with it, and the core, like what actually is there, is fine. It's a nice little arcade of burning as many eyes as you can until you can't no more. Boulder Baby, I still hold an experience, and it feels like hell. It was great. I loved it. Thy Flesh Consumed was a really good boomer shooter. Even if it was a little difficult for me and made me frustrated, it's well crafted. It's really good. There's a lot of effort there, and it shows. I hope when they make, which I did hear from the dev, they're planning to make a much fuller version of this. They just add an easy mode for me. Night Guard Skull Steve, exactly what you expect from Marcus or Siactro. But yeah, I liked it. You just roll around as a skull. It has some paintings of some of their other works, and it's cute and short and fun. Santa's Shop had a very, I think was more of an experiment for the developer, but the ending was really cool. Yule Town, very charming, quirky, kind of like Frog Detective or Undertale. I hear a lot of people compare it to. And yeah, like, you can definitely feel those inspirations, and it's good. It was a nice experience, and I'm proud of the people who worked on it. Digital Hyperspace Retrograde, a fun little platformer with an interesting visual style, and some banging ass tunes. Such good music. Cordoba Court, you know, leave your mark. My mark was left. Tears of Christ, it was very short, and one of those, like, mood pieces with not a lot of gameplay in it. I'm kind of surprised with how many of those we got this year, because I can think of the three off the top of my head with Tears of Christ, Feudal, and Jennifer's Nonsensical Adventure. And I suppose what's interesting about all three of those is how they tackled not really having any gameplay. With this one just kind of like reciting a poem with you as you wander around. Peace on Earth, I heard that the reason why the Earth is red at the end and the situation they're in will be explained in an upcoming HPS1 collab. So look out for that. Last I heard, they're hoping to get it out by February, so look forward to it then. Blood Borders. Very fun snowboarding game. I played, this was another one that there was an updated version after I played, where the original version got me the gist of like what it was going for, and I liked it. And the full version didn't quite change that, but I did appreciate the little touches. Like, I think in the original one it took 2 hits to kill somebody, while in the updated one it's 1. And then I already kind of talked about Feudal, how it was just sort of a little diorama, which I didn't quite expect going into it, but, you know, I was happy with what it is. It definitely has the vibes. And then Swole was an experience, interested in exploring its themes through video games, and so I'm glad it's here. Then we have a mall near you, which we got to explore a dying mall, and that was a lot of fun. It really takes me back. And then Dream Loser, I got killed the first time. I don't know if that was like random chance or on purpose, but it definitely made like my core gameplay, like the second time I tried, a lot more tense the whole way through, because now I'm just like, is a guy just gonna come and get me at any moment? I don't know. And I like that it had, you know, even if it was a robot, like I appreciated having voice acting, because having the one thing that really like made Madvent hard for me was all of the reading and all the talking. It hurts my throat. And then there was Trust, which was visually a treat, as I mentioned. Covered a lot of this, but I'm just kind of reflecting at this point, now that I have a little distance from everything. But yeah, it was, I liked, it was colorful, and flying around, you know, you kind of feel the ace combat that they were trying to go for. Whether or not it was successful, I suppose that'll be up for other people to decide. It's hard for me to weigh on that. Focused on getting the cutscenes done. And so hopefully people like those cutscenes. And then Canceled Christmas. I feel a little bad for being short with it. The idea and a lot of like all of the components are there for really cool, like interesting experience. It's just that it's hard and you can't kill half of the people and the bullets kill you too quick. It's one that I really wanted to like. Oh yeah, and then there was Box Game, which definitely like had the corporate greed vibe. The Rise and Grind set or whatever. You know, I think that it explored those really well. It was nice. I liked it overall. It's just a shame that the physics got me stuck that one time. And then, yeah, Jennifer's Nonsensical Christmas Adventure. Like I mentioned just a couple days ago, I still wish it would have had, I guess, a little bit more interaction, but it was a nice little visual novel. It was a cute game. And then Calm the Wolf was really cool. I guess nothing I expected from like this. I thought like that was going to be the bad guy who chases you around. And then it turns out that that was the main character, and the little gameplay with like, you know, the minigame. Like I said before, it felt like a minigame in a bigger story, and that was fun. I liked that a lot. And then there's another cutscene, which was trying to go for a more like Fever Dream Johnny. They would sometimes do like very funny, hastily put together cutscenes that with like pictures and stuff, like a collage. And I think the dev was going for like that, but with like a child's drawings. And that was a quick reflection over all of Madvent. Just a couple of like, I had some frustrations here and there, and a couple of games that were kind of broken, but like, it was a really strong year this year. And I hope everyone who participated is really proud of what they made, because it's all really cool. I suppose what happens next, eh? I definitely want to do this for next year's Madvent, because I had a lot of fun, but in between here and there, some people have asked or suggested that I play other games that aren't just Madvent. I've been eyeing Siactro's Kiwi. If you want to see me do that, you know, comment below or subscribe. If you'd like to support me in doing these sorts of things more often, you can find my Ko-fi in the description below. And yeah, I look forward to seeing everybody again next year. So, you know, take care and goodbye. I'm really happy to be a part of this community.